I'm George Motz, and this is Hamburger America. And today I'm going to make you 3 different versions of what I consider to be some of the best smash burgers. Smash burger is the original American hamburger. We call it a smash burger today as a way to define the method and how it's being made, which means it's being smashed. The best smash burgers are the ones that are made simply with only a few ingredients. Beef, cheese, bun, and a seasoning of some sort. That's it. That's all you need, really. 4 perfect ingredients with method applied correctly makes the perfect smash burger. Now the grill. Hot flat top. This is we're cooking at about 360 degrees. If you're cooking at home, the best way to do is cook it in a cast iron pan inside your house with good ventilation. There's some pretty basic rules to making a good smash burger. One is obviously the beef. We use 75-25 ground chuck. It's pretty fatty. Fat is flavor. You can see from the blend that it's pretty pink. It's like strawberry ice cream, which means that the muscle fibers and the fat are blended perfectly together, almost like sausage meat. Red muscle fiber mixed with big white chunks of fat. You can't smash that. It's not going to work because all that fat will render out and turn into a sort of a dried out Swiss cheese patty. If you grind, say, twice with your butcher, or you have a grind that looks like it's blended together and it's pink, for example, it'll be the perfect beef for smashing. So we use about 3.5 ounces of beef. One of the best ways to portion beef is to use an ice cream scoop. There actually are things called, they're called salad dishers that look like an ice cream scoop, but they have a trigger on the side. It's been sitting here for a minute. You can then turn the ball over. Look at that. It's a cooked patch on the other side, about 20 seconds, and that prevents from sticking here. You're pressing it on the flat top, and you're defining where it's going to go by pressing it. And because it's round already, if you go straight down and apply pressure, you end up with a ball that turns into a round patty. Don't go and flip it and press it some more, or don't keep pressing it. You want to make sure that's all that's going to happen now. Some of the rendered fat is out already, and it's becoming part of this sort of a hamburger confit. It's right there, using a fancy term for a not-so-fancy thing. This is Lowry seasoned salt. It's a little bit, not much, just a tiny bit. I think it's salt, garlic, turmeric, pepper. If you season your beef before, there's a tendency that for the meat to sort of seize up and get kind of hard. So you don't want to do that before. You want to do it as you're cooking because it's a science experiment. All this stuff is happening at the same time. The only people who actually ate hamburgers in the very beginning were factory workers who had to eat quickly and get back to work. And so they realized that by smashing a ball of beef on a flat top, it made it cook faster. It's a visual thing to know when to flip. The bubbles will start to come through. The rendered fat is now racing to the surface. It's trying to get away from the heat. Sharp scrape tool. You'll watch the pink change slightly. You still want pink before you flip. If it's fully gray, you've overcooked it already. Then keep an eye on that. American cheese. American cheese is designed to melt. Also for speed, the cheese is not going to melt the way you want it to until you cover it. Covered cheese melts faster. This is a professional melter. It's called a melter. But you can also use a bowl. A bowl or even a pot cover will work just fine. We use Martin potato rolls because they're just a little denser. That's the bun toaster. There you go. Oh, perfect. I'm anti-brioche because there's too much sugar in the bun. You know, whenever you take a bite of the burger, you want to get some yeast in there, like it's a piece of bread, not like a donut, you know? Whenever you take a bite of a burger, the first thing you actually smell is not really beef. It's actually the yeast from the top of the bun because the bun is hitting you in the nose. Hitting your nose, you're smelling yeast first, and that's very important. Yeast is a very complex element, and your brain desires those complexities. The ultimate, all the way. Mustard, not much, just a little bit. Put 2 pickles in every burger. We use dill pickle and onion. Not much, a little bit. The MOP, this is mustard, onion, pickle. No ketchup, no. You can put ketchup on it if you want. Just I don't want to put it on my burger. It's on the bottom also. People ask, why is it on the bottom? Why is it on the top? Because that allows us to prepare the buns ahead of time. So you can, it's called doping the buns. You can dope the buns ahead and just drop patties on them. For doing a lot of volume, it's much easier to do it that way. The bun is ready to go. All you have to do is drop the patty on top of it. We do the classic fold and twist. There you go. The method is based on speed, just to be able to get it done, but it inevitably, accidentally created a burger that is beloved for over a century. Oh, tasting America, tasting history. Okay, next we're going to do the burger that made me somewhat famous. This is the Oklahoma fried onion burger. Same size ball of beef, everything. This time, though, instead, we salt the ball. Also, we salt the surrounding area. Paper thin cut onions go in here. We have a secret slicer in the basement. Only way to make the onion burger is to use super, super thin onions like that. And we have a very special machine that does that, which is right over there. But I'm not going to show you because it's very special. If you're in the business, you already know what it is. I know. Fine. We use sweet onions because they caramelize faster because of the high sugar content. Also, you can almost eat it like an apple if you had it in your hand. It's very, very sweet. One burger gets about that much, so it seems like a lot, but it cooks down. Onions lose their moisture, and when they caramelize, they shrink, and they become more concentrated. If you need to get your onions this thin, good luck. A mandolin set to the thinnest you can go is probably the best thing you can do for a home slicing of onions. In fact, it's the Japanese mandolins which can get down to the thinnest possible setting. The French ones won't do it, sorry. Wash your fingers, please. It's very dangerous. During the workmen's shop strike of 1922, everybody was out of work in El Reno, Oklahoma. So an enterprising young man decided to take the same volume of beef to onions and press the onions into the burger to see what happened. And he was just trying to extend his beef supply for the day. And what he ended up with was inventing an incredible burger that we still make 100 years later. Unlike the smash burger, which cooks very quickly, the onion burger is a slow cooker. It takes patience and it takes time. We're going to sear the side that we press down, and then we're going to flip it over so the onions are now hiding underneath, and they caramelize with the beef tallow, or the rendered beef fat. As the rendered fat goes down, the heat comes up. The onions are caught in the middle of that. The onions are now part of a combination, this transfer of heat and beef tallow over and over and over and over again until they give up. The moment when the onions give up is the moment when they taste the best. Cheese. Normally, if you're in Oklahoma, there's no cheese. I mean, they do put cheese on if you want, but that's like the younger generation. If you're under 60, for example, that's the younger generation. So this bun does not get toasted. It goes right on top of here. It's a science experiment that's happening. It's steaming. It's what I call beef steam. It's also a great name for a band. I've talked about. I do a thing which I've never seen them do in Oklahoma, where I gather the onions and put them underneath so they don't burn. And I start to check. I can actually see what's going on now. We're getting there. We're not quite there, though. It's actually pretty hard to overcook the burger at this point because the onions act as an insulator, prevents us from overcooking the burger patty itself. So it stays very moist. Here we go. Let's give it up. See that? Ooh, surrendered. Look at that sweet surrender. That's it. See that? There's no more white in there. You don't see the onions are just by comparison. See that? Look at that. So here we go. Very important part of this burger, something called the pinch and pull, which is just done for speed. You put the heel, which was on top, is now on the bottom. Basically pinch the whole thing together gently, and you pull it off. That's it. We serve this one with 2 pickles. But the pickles don't go on the burger. The pickles go next to the burger. You're supposed to eat them while you're eating the burger. You can't see the onions. People say, it's not an onion burger, I don't see onions. Like, oh, dude, they're in there. It's a very unique flavor. When you take rendered beef fat and you cook onions in that fat, you end up with something that is very, very unique, especially to the hamburger world. Okay, next, the Chester, my hometown burger, the burger I grew up with. Think of American cheese, white bread grilled cheese with butter, with a hamburger patty inside. I know you're thinking patty melt. Not a patty melt. This is a Chester. The patty melt was invented in San Francisco in the 1930s by a guy named Tiny Naylor. So traditionally, a patty melt is rye bread, Swiss cheese, grilled onions with a patty inside. That's a patty melt. Everything else is just a hamburger on toast. This is the Chester. This was invented by a bunch of drunk teenagers in 1973 because they didn't have buns. It's as simple as that. They came home from the bar. They were looking for something good to eat. Let's make cheeseburgers. Oh, we don't have any buns. So they put it on bread. They put it on toast. Same burger, same smash. And this is the way it's been made for over 50 years. No seasoning this time is salt. They use salt on the Chester. That's just what they do, what they've done for half a century. Toast. Now, this is the critical part. Right on the flat top, rendered butter. And for speed, melter covers. There you go. Once this patty is cooked, it's just going to go into the grilled cheese. And that's it. Super fast. On there. You can burn this pretty easily. Keep in mind, you're making two different things. You're making a burger and a grilled cheese. Grilled cheese inherently cooks at a lower temperature, and a smash patty cooks at a higher temperature. It should be. So you need to separate those two things and add the patty to a grilled cheese environment as opposed to just trying to create everything in the same environment. It's very important. This is the burger I grew up eating at the beach. I grew up running down the beach to get these when I was a lifeguard. It's an off-menu burger. You won't find it on the menu, but if you come in and ask for it, we'll make it for you. The greatest thing about this burger, you know exactly what it's going to taste like. No question about it. Actually, it might taste better than what you might think. Nice, crispy outside. The cheese is perfectly melted. The burger's not too thick. I never get tired of it. I never get tired of it. And people come back to this restaurant all the time. You know, they know it's going to be a good tasting burger because they know that's going to make them feel good. Burgers make you happy. And happiness is healthiness, as far as I'm concerned.